Maximizing profits and wanting to know how to create pricing structures that attracts customers, very different from what we're told. Listen up. So, in maximizing profits, there is a very important way to effectively price your services and products so that customers are attracted to you. So the first thing you need to make sure you're doing is not necessarily making sure your prices compete, but making sure that they're comparable, meaning that your prices shouldn't necessarily be so far off from the market that it's insane, unless you have created a brand like Chanel that's been around for so many years that, but even Chanel is not priced as high as Hermes, but still comparable. I think they're in between Hermes and maybe Saint Laurent. We're getting off topic. But make sure that your prices make sense for the market, but you're not necessarily wanting to be concerned with being competitive if you are a luxury brand. You want to make sure your prices make sense. Competitive prices kind of work with non-luxury brands or brands who are focused on quantity. Neither is wrong, but making sure you understand the difference. If you're a business that's focused on luxury, quality, efficiency, and things like that, your prices may tend to be higher. Make sure you understand the difference. The second way to make sure, and I'm reading my notes, to make sure that you're pricing effectively so that customers are attracted to your products and services is making sure that some of your prices make people want to buy. So even if you're a luxury brand, I'll do both. If you're a luxury brand and let's say to work with some of your masterclass, it may be a few $1,000s. There should also be products in your service or product reservoir that allows people to kind of taste test or stick their toe in that may not be, let's say, as inexpensive as a quantity brand, but also allows me to kind of get familiar with your brand without feeling that I might take a loss if I do. Now, you don't have to follow this principle, but it works. So even if it's, if you notice you walk through the perfume counter and they give you a test, a spray test. Now, after spraying all day, they're going to use bottles of perfume that comes at a cost. But let's say one spray on one paper, I've bought perfume from one spray, but let's say one spray, somebody gets a whiff and they're like, oh my God, this will smell really good on my partner. This will smell really good for the event that I'm going to tonight. And you sell several bottles of perfume. You've given away this product for free to people who may not buy, but you're also attracting other customers who may not have experienced your product or service without you giving a test or you giving a trial or you offering a lower priced product or service. So make sure that you also, even if you are a higher end brand or a higher end organization, meaning that your prices are higher, that there's some way that I can become familiar with your work. And once you've worked with so many people, you may not have to do that as much because then you'll start to hear word of mouth. If you're a quantity brand, the same principle works. You want to give away freebies. You want to offer maybe group sessions or, give products to organizations so they can become familiar with it. I was watching something the other day and the founder of the Crayon Case gave a package away to Young Miami's. If you don't know any of these people, that's fine. Just listen to the story. Young Miami's daughter for her birthday. I think it was a sweet gesture, but I also think the way they did it was a way to showcase the brand. So I'm going to give you this in exchange for you posting it to your audience who will then be like, oh, that's so cute. I want that for my son or daughter. Well, I want that for my daughter, or I want that for my, child or niece or whomever is wearing makeup, or I want it for myself. So still making sure your brand is visible, still making sure that people have a chance to experience your brand. That's one way, and that works with pricing because you may have to offer a freebie, offer a trial, offer something at a lower price to get people in to experience your brand until you're well established. And then the final way to help people, or to help with effective pricing and attracting customers to your products or services, would be, once you master the skill of pricing, your price should create demand. So I heard years ago, and I didn't fully understand it until I had established my brand, that when certain entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs who are established in their own business, are looking for products or service, they don't necessarily like the lower end of product or service, lower priced end. They want something that says, I have been around, I have a whole lot of value. And pricing really does, it's odd. Pricing really does, especially in our society, convince people that it has a higher value if it's priced higher. So for instance, I forgot, somebody said somebody was selling a $600 shirt. And there was a white t-shirt. Now you can go to the gas station and get a white t-shirt, but they had this price at $600 and it was selling out. I think Tiffany had came out with a bobby pin that was like $1,000. Like, so people, pine over things when this is the best way I've heard it said. It creates desire. If your pricing is on the higher end, there are people who are automatically excluded. Now, this is for people who are focused on luxury brands, who are automatically excluded for your pricing, and then people who can afford it, who can say, oh my God, I'm able to get it. It's the same thing with handbags. It's the same thing with luxury shoes, houses, anything that sets people apart, and it creates desire. If you're a quantity brand, one way you can do that is making sure your pricing fits your target audience. Is you may have lower priced audience because you're focused on quantity, where everyone can purchase your product. So if you're a luxury brand, your product should set you apart. Your products and services should set you apart as it relates to pricing, and it should create desire, and it should automatically exclude people who are not your target audience. This is not that, people, oh my God, you want to, no, I want to exclude people who are not my target audience, who would not benefit from my product and who couldn't even purchase my product. And then if you are a quantity brand, you want to include as many people with your pricing so you can have the quantity that your brand, product, or service desires. So those are the ways to look at pricing. If you have questions, you can send me a message at www.drshikasquare.com. Make sure you also sign up for the automation, 6-figure automation formula. The pricing will actually change soon. So let's talk soon.